Hi, Genki Call here with your Soulforge offerings while we are in Whitehelm this week of April 4th, 2022. Got something in here everybody's looking for. If they don't already have it, everybody wants it, and that's Ironhawk, but I'll come back to that. First, let's go over the legendaries. We've got Orion. The one thing about Orion that I can say that is pretty cool is that he has a 75% chance to ignore armor with skull damage. Unfortunately, he has no skull damage reduction, he has no way to buff his armor, but the only troop that has better than this is the Lord of Slaughter, who has a 100% chance, but 75% is pretty darn good. Does a range of damage to an enemy and Hunters marks them, which means you're going to hit them harder, an extra 50% damage to be exact, and he gains magic, which will make these purple numbers go up every time the magic goes up. Would I recommend crafting him? Usually I say any of the legendaries, don't craft them. Save your diamonds for the mythics that you really want, unless you are power blocked in a kingdom, power level blocked, and are desperate to get it up. Desperate to raise it, I should say. Keeper of Souls. Keeper of Souls transforms all gems of a chosen color to skulls. He can be pretty fun on a necromancy team. Extra 50% bonus souls from battle, 50% chance to summon a white when an enemy dies, but pretty much he's just there because he can get you a match 4 plus on skulls. So he's good to run with a skull spamming team. I generally don't use him, but he is a good option when you run a skull spamming team. Then we've got Taloka, who's sounds really good on paper because if there's a storm, he does triple damage, but even with triple damage, it's still not a ton of damage. There are still troops that do damage to all enemies that are going to do more damage than he does, even with his triple damage. However, he does deal 10 damage to a random enemy on 4 plus gem matches, so he can be a fun alternative to doing a triple finesse team. You can throw this guy on the team, do double finesse, Taloka, and your weapon, and just for something different to do. Plus, with the bonus points that you get from match 4s from finesse, this number goes up and up and up, as does everything else here, so. That is Taloka. Queen Moonclaw. I loved this troop when I was low level, but now not so much. Create 9 skulls boosted by green allies and enemies and summon a random gnoll. The gnolls, just in general, aren't very powerful. Give 2 attack to green allies when an ally does skull damage. I mean, you can't control where those skulls are going to go, and, you know, the summon is nice, but she just doesn't seem like a legendary value troop to me, personally. Da-dum-da, everybody else already. Okay. All right, so Megavore, my very first mythic. Eliminate all armor from all enemies, deal damage to an enemy, and submerge myself. But the thing that's cool about Megavore, besides the fact that he basically makes your entire team do true damage, is that he has an 8% chance to kill the last enemy on 4 plus gem matches, and this 8% seems to hit a lot more often than 8%. I know it's 8%, but I have had him kill the entire opposing team with match 4s. So I run him with a match 4 heavy teams such as Queen Beatrix or Gobtruffle, anything that creates lots and lots of match 4s, and he can kill off the entire other team. You can't count on that, but it can happen. So he's good to use in delves. He's what I used before I got High King Iron Gut. Then we've got, I'm gonna skip him for now, Mithrilion. Mithrilion is okay. I don't love this troop. He explodes a 3x3 block, and because it's an explosion, he's actually taking out a 5x5 area. Area. So he's getting you some mana for your team. He gains a bunch of armor. He barriers a random ally for every skull destroyed. So as long as you make sure that you're exploding and hitting 4 skulls, your entire team will be barriered. This is what's interesting. 75% skull damage reflection, and I have had this completely wipe out the other team. He doesn't have any buff to his armor or skull damage reduction. He has spell damage reduction, but not skull damage reduction. However, if you're casting, you're getting all of that armor. It kind of balances out. However, having a mythic at the front of your team, um, it's an iffy thing. It can work if you have it on the right team. Arch Proxy Yvendra. Pretty sure this has been the first time she's been in the Soulforge since Weavergate, since she first came into the game. I, I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but although she is the only troop that creates Uber Doom Skulls, and she converts all yellow gems to Uber Doom Skulls, people don't tend to use her very often. Those Uber Doom Skulls do 10 damage each, so she can just wipe everything. She can clear the entire board if you have the right team. Of course, you run her with Divine Ishbala, who it will give her 40% mana start, and then also creates a bunch of yellow. It's a nice combo. Also, she conjures an Uber Doomstorm when an enemy when an enemy dies. So I like this troop, but I rarely use her. Conversely, one I do use all the time is Ironhawk. Ironhawk is one of the most, if not the most sought after mythic in the game, because he will get you through and explore a level 1 explorer with no trouble at all. It's the fastest team you can have is with two Ironhawks, and the reason why it's not because of this, although this is nice and can do quite a bit of damage, this is the reason why. Deal 5 damage to all enemies when an ally casts a spell. So you have 2 empowered troops on the team and 2 Ironhawks. The first one casts and gets an extra turn like Sister Superior or Greed. That's 10 damage to all enemies. Then you have Dust Devil. That's another 10 plus an extra 5 from the Dust Devil to all enemies. And you can just blow right through a level 1 Explorer with a Nomapalooza very, very quickly. Now, there are options for a single Ironhawk team as well. So if you can only afford one of these, if you're after Nomapaloozas, if you are after getting those vault events, just farming the heck out of them, this is the way to go. If you are not interested in grinding the heck out of those vault events, then this, that's totally up to you. And you know, you may want something more. You may want High King Iron Gut or something else in the game, Phoenicia, for instance. But if you're going to be doing those explores, Ironhawk's the way to go. And I'll see if I can put together a video for you with the Ironhawk teams for vault events and level 1 explorers and Nomapaloozas for you. All right, weapons. We've got some good stuff in here. These guys are always here. Always, always. All right, so let's start with the Doomed Scripture. This is one of those darned tomes that kicks our behinds in Guild Wars. I did craft it the last time we were in Whitehelm, and you can see I have not upgraded it even one bit because I don't have the Forge Scrolls for it. However, there's no telling when we're going to be back in Whitehelm again. So if you're interested in having this tome, now would be the time to do it. It costs a lot of diamonds, a lot of resources, 10 celestials, 900 diamonds. It's a lot. It's a doom. So it is going to cost more. If you're not interested in Guild Wars, not that useful. It is specifically for Guild Wars that people craft these tomes. So keep that in mind before you decide to click craft on that one. We have the Divine Protector, which is really good. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by divine allies and create a mix of 6 red and yellow gems for each divine ally. And let me remind you that Divine Ishbala uses yellow and red, and so this is a really good one to use with her. There are plenty of mythics that use yellow and red that are divine. So this is a really nice weapon. I enjoy this one a lot. Guardian Hammer, I like to use this with my double gargoyle team and ethereal sentry. Because the the Hall of Guardians troops from the faction count as White Helm allies. It creates a mix of yellow and brown gems for each White Helm ally it counts. The brown feeds into the gargoyles, the yellow feeds the ethereal sentry so that we can keep buffing the armor on the gargoyles and just making them super powerful. So I really like this one, but of course that is personal preference. Then we've got the Staff of Whitehelm. This is one of those 75 diamond jobbies. Remove all yellow gems, deal damage to an enemy boosted by those gems removed. You don't get any mana out of it, but it does boost the spell, and if they're from Whitehelm, do double damage. I'll have to look at the upgrades on that if I can remember to do it. The Angel of Death. Let's see. Deathmark an ally, no, enemy. Deathmark an enemy and deal damage boosted by yellow gems. It's not a great weapon that I can tell, but I crafted it because I must have all weapons, because I keep getting weapon blocked at my kingdom. So no more weapon blocks for Genki Call. Thank you very much. Then we have the Fist of Heaven. Oh, I love this weapon. It's my favorite type of weapon. Explode a bunch of gems, grant a random status effect to a type of troop, in this case it's divine allies, then summon a divine troop. The reason why the Fist of Heaven is my favorite of this type is because it has a higher percentage chance of summoning mythics than any of the other weapons, in my experience. I can't say that I can't present this as fact, but in my experience, I see divines summoned from this weapon more than any other one. So, anyway, love this weapon. I absolutely recommend crafting this, and you don't have to use it with a divine team. You've got red and green that you can use to explode yellow. That's the important thing. These others are just icing on the cake. All right, and the rest of this is always here. Also want to get into Whitehelm. No, I'm not blocked on that. So here we're going to go into weapons. We're going to sort by Whitehelm. It'll be all the way at the bottom. Give me a second here. Hello. There it is. Whitehelm, base rarity. All right. So I wanted to show you that the Guardian Crown is going to be in the Soulforge tomorrow, because it's the faction weapon for Hall of Guardians. However, rather than spend diamonds on this weapon, you can get this with your gems in the event shop for the faction assault. I highly recommend getting this weapon because it is fantastic. There are some meta teams that use this Guardian Crown weapon, so definitely keep this weapon in mind because it is super powerful with the right team. So that'll be tomorrow on Tuesday only. It's only available when there's a faction assault at Hall of Guardians, and when the faction assault is over, this goes away again till the next time we go back there. And the last thing I wanted to show you before we end the video is the upgrades on this Staff of Whitehelm. So we've got Magic, Lightning, and Cleanse Myself. So the Cleanse is nice. Speaking of Cleanse, there is a weapon coming out this weekend for Invasion that is the same type of weapon as the Fist of Heaven, where it's going to explode a bunch of gems, random status effect, and summon. It's for elves, and it also has Cleanse. So that is coming up this weekend. You will be able to get that in the Soulforge this weekend, but you will also be able to get it in the event shop for Invasion. So you don't have to spend diamonds on it. You can spend your gems instead. So keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out what to spend your resources on this week. All Alright, that is it for me for today, folks. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and all of the videos today. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you folks soon. Bye-bye!